Welcome back to the Thursday Night GT Championship, coming to you from Long Beach with the sprint race round 6 of the season, where us as neutrals, we are hoping for a very, very chaotic race after a relatively tame feature race, aren't we, Jordan?
Yeah, I think a bit more overtaking action wouldn't go amiss from our point of view. Obviously the drivers, if you're leading the race, that's not what you're looking for. But Rob is the first man out of the pits. Almost thought he had some sort of ghost car then, but obviously not, just the...
No, just Project Cars cameras again.
So obviously rules for the qualifying session are the top 5 from the last race will not be qualifying and should be in a reverse order. The only person who will be out of sync will be Benji and Gaz, because Benji hosts the lobby, so he'll be starting at the back, whereas Gaz will start 9th. But 4 of the 5 remaining cars to qualify out track at the moment. Only Seb, who's stayed in the pit so far. So Rob starts his first qualifying lap in the Mercedes. I mean, you'd have to think Liam Dean is going to be your best bet for pole position here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to be. He was fourth in the... I think he was 4th in the feature race in the grid, so... He's one of those. You sometimes get it where someone who is supposed to be at the top in the feature has a bad feature, and then they're much expected to be the favourite for the sprint, so you would think definitely he is the favourite, and who'll join him on the front row? Probably his teammate Rob.
I think that's going to be a tight one between Rob and Jamie, actually, because both of them running a similar pace in the feature race. So it'll definitely be interesting.
Similar pace. I think Rob out-qualified Jamie, did he not?
I believe he did, but not by a lot.
No, maybe not by a lot, but you always have to consider did person A have damage, did person B, or whatever. So I think this will be a true representation of were they as equal as they were in the last race.
And there's your first comparison.
By that, it looks like they are.
That's your first comparison. That's 17.4, which I would consider not a bad time that from Rob in the Mercedes. Let's see what his teammate can do. In the walls on the exit. Up towards the line. Fordine doesn't go any quicker. In fact, he's the slowest of the people with time so far.
Maybe a bit of a scruffy lap for him.
Tom goes through. That's obviously a bad lap. He will be going again on that one. Interesting that Seb's not come out of the pits yet to do his qualifying lap.
Yeah, whether he's leaving it late just to do one run, or maybe it just feels fifth all he can do, so he may not waste his energy.
I think he would be I think he'd beat Tom though, so surely an extra place at the grid is better than nothing he'd have to fill.
Yeah, of course. Well, Tom's current time, yes, but Tom actually qualified Seb in the feature, so Seb obviously didn't finish the feature, so we didn't even get a true representative of his race pace.
I mean, the other weird thing about this circuit as well is the pole position man starts on the right-hand side of this grid, which is alright coming off the line because it's a right-hander, but up to turn, what we would technically class as turn 1 is at Toyota, is the outside line.
Yeah, I've been caught out with that one before. I think I actually started on was it the front row here in Season 6? Either way, I was on the left-hand side and it kind of screwed me over in actual terms because I got pinned on the inside and couldn't go anywhere with a lot of cars swept around my outside, so I don't think it's too much of a disadvantage. I think you can get away with either side. Either way, everyone's going to want pole.
And as expected, Dean has taken the provisional pole position there with a 1:16.9. Rob half a second down on that, with Jamie 800ths off of Rob, so that's going to be a tight battle throughout the whole session. With only 4 minutes left to go in this session. The Bilstein Mercedes. I don't know if you just clipped the wall there, or whether it was just the bumps coming out of the left-hander, making it look like it.
Clipped the wall a couple of corners back though.
Down to the Firestone turn. Up towards the Indy left and up towards the final hairpin right. Technically a double 90 right, but take it in one smooth curve.
Oddly left car in second for that corner. I don't know whether that was an accident or...
Yeah, interesting, especially running traction as well. Definitely a first gear corner with traction. If he wasn't running traction, I think I would agree with him just to get the car out of the corner, but see what Jamie does.
Cuts the corner, that's one of the things he does, but yeah, it was always a first gear corner for me without traction.
That's not... I wouldn't have said that was quite the right line, that, from Jamie.
No, maybe not the greatest line, but 800 is all he needs, and whether he's going to find them.
He does find them. A 1:17.3 now for the Lamborghini driver. But this man's got a great chance of winning the sprint race right now. He's almost half a second quicker than anyone else who can qualify behind him. And you have to think, with this circuit, the way you can't overtake on it, if Dean can get up and go, he's going to have a pretty easy life up there.
Yeah, but as we saw last week, he can get up and go, but then he can't keep it on the track, so that's going to be his biggest hurdle.
I think the biggest thing with Dean is when he's up and gone. I mean, he won Watkins Glen quite happily because he had a decent gap behind him. He had about 3 seconds, I think. I think when he's got a gap behind him, he can be quite consistent because he hasn't got that pressure of making sure he gets everything right. It's almost like he just slightly crumbles under a bit of pressure when there's someone behind him.
Yeah, you would hope he can keep it on track for his own sake, because he looked to be the main contender to add on, but due to his inconsistencies, it looks like Nathan's taken that role.
Well, I think this change could, if Dean had a bit of better luck and kept on the circuit, I think this would be 3 people in right now from the start of the season.
Yeah, you could have those 3 and then maybe even Ben and Benji in there.
As we watch Dean in the number 4 SAP Mercedes to the final corner. Can he get any quicker than a 16.9? Lovely exit out of the final turn. Across the line, and he does a 16.6. That's a brilliant time from Dean. Puts him over 7/10 ahead of Jamie. These two, the only people on circuit right now.
Yes, that kind of confirms the grid almost. Jamie is about to start a hot lap.
And Dean has decided he does not want another lap of qualifying. So Jamie is the only man.
Also lost Seb.
Yes, we have. That is an interesting point, and he won't get back in either. So 9 cars. 5th. But I think Adam could find it quite hard to get past Rob and Jamie.
Yeah, you think he could maybe gain 1 or 2 off the line, but after that, it's going to be quite hard.
So Jamie, the only man who can upset Dean here and potentially put that Lamborghini on pole position. Comes onto Seaside Way and down to the Firestone turn. Under the AAA bridge. The brakes into Firestone. I think that's every driver's line through there. Into the wall,
Yeah,
so the
Jamie's lap over.
back end maybe moving coming out of Firestone thanks to the tighter line. Comes up to the
Looks like a
line.
lot of drivers are cutting the Firestone turn.
I don't think it's the healthiest way, and he doesn't improve. I don't think it's the healthiest line through there because of the curb, the back end, as we just saw, very prone to just moving about, forcing you into that inside wall.
Yeah, it might play with the cars and also attract the interest of the stewards.
Seb disconnected. So Dean takes pole position for the sprint race, followed by Jamie, Rob, Tom, Adam Morris, Ben Milden, Nathan, Gaz, and Benji will start ninth and last, with Seb disconnecting in the session. Not what Seb was looking for, a double non-points races, you'd have to think there.
Yeah, after a promising debut scoring points.
As we await the drivers sink in for this 9-car sprint race. Obviously next week should be back to normal with other guys rejoining back in after other activities in real life. So Dean just needs to get up and go here and create himself a gap, and I think he should win this. But he has to create that gap, in my opinion. Don't know what you think of that, Liam.
I'm sure it's going to be important for him. See if he can do almost what Nathan did, just make at least a 1 second gap off the start. Of course, if Rob can get Jamie, then he's got his teammate behind him. But it's also going to be interesting to see what the guys from 5th to 9th can do, whether they can, make some crazy starts and get involved.
Definitely think Nathan's one to look out for off the start line. After his start in the feature, he could make up 2 or 3 places off the line here.
Yeah, if he can do something similar, he's in with the shit, and of course we saw him slide through the pack very well at Kota. Of course it's a completely different challenge on a track like Long Beach. But I'm sure he'll be confident.
We still wait the drivers to ready up in their ready screen. Obviously they can change the setup so they can add a bit more fuel. So they can get through the whole race. We sink in and we wait for the 3 red lights that Project Cars provides us. That's all 3 on, and we're green here at Long Beach for the 2nd time tonight. For the sprint race, a good start from Jamie there. He's going to have a look down the inside at Toyota, you'd have to feel. Not quite good enough though. Dean stays there in first place position. Nathan is up into 4th place after that start. So again, a sensational start, but he's had to go on at the first corner. That is unfortunate for the Porsche driver as we go through the roundabout for the first time. Dean leads from Jamie, only half a second between them. Rob is 3rd. Ben Milden is in 4th. Adam Morris is 5th, Tom is in 6th, Benji is 7th with Gaz in 8th, so Benji and Gaz have swapped positions. Obviously Nathan at the back of the pack after having to go straight on at Toyota. We watch Tom on our screens now, in the Audi, to go on to Seaside Way for the first time. Dean now has made ground up in that 2nd sector, he's up to 1.5 now, the gap, into they come up towards Firestone for the first time. Bit wide from Tom. Gonna look inviting that for Benji. Let's come into the final turn. Oh, and very tight. And that's what brought Nathan into play for that back 4 in the battle for 6th. That looks like Ben having a look at the inside of his Merc compatriot. This for a podium position. Can't quite get there.
Rob was very aggressive with his defending.
Here comes Benji, Nathan right on this pack now. But you have to feel Benji has to get past Tom very soon. If he wants to break.
Tom's a bit of a cork in the bottle right now.
Although, to be honest, he's not exactly losing time for Adam here. The top two are now.
Looks like they're all sort of bottled up behind Rob as well. Of course, if Rob is defending from Ben, that's going to make him even slower.
So the top two starting to run away from this now. Dean with a 3.2 second gap, and Jamie has almost a couple of seconds on this group. So this is perfect for Dean.
First laps all compared. Dean a 1:22. The next fastest was a 1:25.
You'd have to think this is a perfect start from Dean, as Tom really is defending from Benji, and that could give Gaz a run onto the main straight.
It actually looks like Tom did clip into the back of Adam, into the hairpin.
Gaz looking down the inside of Bridgestone. Not quite the overlap he needed, and now Nathan's going to have a look. Can Nathan hold it around the outside? Yes, he can. That's a brilliant move as he comes up to the hairpin. Another hairpin, the roundabout. Oh, and collision between Gaz and Nathan. I think Nathan just got a bit squeezed out by Benji there through Toyota on the exit.
Yeah, it looks like Gaz hit the left going into the roundabout, and Nathan didn't really have anywhere to go.
That looks like Ben Milden having a look at Rob for third place again. Not yet successful, and he's got to go careful because Adam Morris is right there. There's Benji now looking on Tom. That's going to be a done deal into Firestone. Good move, needed to be done. Now we can focus on getting on the back of Adam, whilst Rob causes that bottleneck. The top two gone in their own distance now, as we move on to lap number 4 of 16. So what do you make of the start then, Liam? Interesting first 4 laps.
It's been very hectic as Gaz now gets past Tom. It's, yeah. Nathan looked like he was going to make the best of everyone, but obviously had to go down that escape road at turn 1, and yeah, certainly the action we were wanting and expecting.
As Rob still defending from Ben. Now these guys really losing time now, 3 seconds behind Jamie and 7 off the lead. And this, in my opinion, really is where Dean shines. He's got nothing around him, he's got no one to be pestered by. He's got almost 5 seconds on Jamie. He can focus on just making sure he gets everything nice and tidy. Up in the lead.
Adam's dropped off this battle and is now having to contend with his teammate.
I wonder if there could be a bit of team speak going on. Maybe I'm not going to battle you until the end. Let's just get up to Ben and hassle him a bit more.
Yeah, the worry for them is they've got Gaz closing in, and obviously Adam didn't have the pace of these two behind him, so
Nathan is now...
If he holds Benji up, Benji's going to get attacked by Gaz.
And they've got to be careful because Nathan is now past Tom, so he'll be going at them like a scolded cat. Once he gets a good clean lap in. But Dean, the fastest of anyone on that round, a 17.6.
Yeah, now second quicker. Oh no, Gaz with a 17.7. I was about to say he's nearly a second quicker, but Gaz near enough matching him.
And that is not what you wanted, because that's Nathan, Adam Morris, seeing the wall and collected by Gaz, who had nowhere to go. That's not going to do them any favours, but championship rival Nathan now back ahead of Adam Morris there.
Tom actually passed Adam. That's how damaged Adam's car is.
Yeah, I think I saw in the background Adam going really slow. Maybe some rear suspension damage, I would have to assume, on that one, so the car probably crabbing like it was in the feature.
You just gotta wonder, is Gaz or Adam's damage worth pitting? With 11 laps left,
Well, on the
is
basis
it
that
worth losing about 30 seconds?
Gaz is still hassling Nathan right now, I would say not for Gaz, but I think Adam's not going to have a choice. He's losing a lot of time.
Yeah,
As
as he
we say that.
pits.
So Nathan up into 6th. This has actually turned quite nice for him because he's going to be pulling more points on his rival. And but I mean, could be, maybe. If I have a quick glance at the point system. Nathan finished 3rd in race 1, which is 8 points, and Adam finished 5th, I believe. So that's 2 points.
Third in the feature was more than 8. I think the win is 20.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Reading the sprint. So third is worth 16. 5th is worth 12. So that means that if I had a look at the standings coming into this, yes, that's an interesting one. Coming into this race, the top of the table was level. The top of the table
Adam and Nathan.
Between Adam and Nathan. So with Nathan in front, that means after 6 rounds, we'd have a new championship leader.
Yeah, as Adam's actually out of the race, so he's going to get nothing.
Ben still stuck behind Rob. He must be getting absolutely sick of seeing that blue Mercedes.
Yeah, Ben had actually dropped off of Rob, as you can see he was 1.5 seconds quicker last lap, but obviously Rob made a mistake somewhere and allowed them to catch back up, as Ben's actually looking like he's going to have a go. Rob again is very aggressive with his defending. Ben's not happy.
No. Very, very tough racing this from Rob.
Yeah, we saw him sort of almost push Ben to the inside in an attempt at turn 1 earlier, and sort of done it again.
As they come out of the final hairpin. There's Jamie. That's how far behind they are right now. Dean with an 18.2 right now in his last lap.
Yeah, he's, I'm sure, taking it a bit easy out there.
Well, Nathan done a 18.0. And he's going to drag Gaz with him as well, because Gaz is going even quicker than Nathan by around a 10th there.
They're both the 2 fastest cars last lap, so they're going to join this 3-car party and make it a 5-car party.
I have to say, Rob's done an absolutely fantastic job of being rear gunner to Dean at this race.
Yeah, you don't think he needs to anymore, as I don't think anyone's going to make up 11 seconds to Dean, but I'm sure Rob just wants the podium for himself too.
Yeah, well, you'd have to think that maybe he's actually being unintentionally a rear gunner for Dean, because Rob hasn't had the same sort of pace as the top 5 in the last race, and he's gone round. That releases the hounds.
He'd have to make sure his crazy defending didn't see him in the stewards and have him lose it anyway.
So as Monty Burns would say, release the hounds, because Benji's been set free, along with Ben Milden. Now you'd have to think Jamie, I think 7 laps, 3 seconds. Jamie lost a second on that last lap.
Yeah, you wonder, is his podium going to come under threat from this 4? Could drop down as far as 6th.
Shame for Rob. He's now going to be... He's got Tom on his tail a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue for him. But then I guess it depends what sort of damage he took. He did hit the wall. Let's come into Firestone turn for the 9th time of 16. Look at the lines. Benji taking much nicer lines compared to Ben Milden. They come up to the line. Onto the 10th lap we come. And the gap to Jamie, only 3.2.
Yeah, you just wonder, is Benji maybe thinking, I'm going to give you a couple of laps, Ben, go catch him, or I'm coming past you?
And let's be honest, Nathan isn't really catching these two.
No, I think these two probably a bit faster than Nathan at the moment, if Nathan's probably suffered damage from that incident with Gaz. And, these two will be just getting on with it.
Did see a flash of the lights there from Nathan, whether that's to Gaz to say, come on, let's get on with it, let's get on the back of these two here.
Yeah, it could be, or knowing Nathan, he's a bit of an idiot and probably just flashes them going, look, Mom, I'm on the live stream. That's the type of thing he would do.
Well, it's fair to say he couldn't have made more of a fool of himself in the feature race on the last lap, last corner.
No, as Ben looks like he's taking almost a second out of Jamie this lap.
Yeah, down to 2.3 the gap. Jamie's done an 18.7, but Ben Milden with a 17.8 on par that with Dean. So Dean's not exactly hanging around either.
No, and it's like we're going to get a close finish. If Ben keeps this pace up, he'll have a couple of laps to attack Jamie. Will Jamie feel the pressure and start making his own mistakes?
The other thing is that Ben Milden's... Oh, and he has! Jamie has made a mistake. He spun it coming out of that 90 right. He is going to be kicking himself with that one.
It looked like he was running in a relatively comfortable second place for most of the race, and it's going to be, well, 6th. And Tom at the back has actually passed Rob, and is 6 seconds ahead.
I think Rob might have some damage on the car then. Either that or he's made another mistake somewhere on this lap, because he was half a second quicker at the last time around compared to Tom.
Yeah, I think all we need to have settled now is who's coming second and who's coming third, unless anyone else crashes.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to wish on Dean. He's had a bit of a horrible season as it goes.
That's another spin from Jamie. And he's out.
That is exit and retirement from Jamie. And
I don't think Jamie will even get points, as that's not 75% of the race. I think he would have had to finish lap 12.
Yeah, he would have had to finish lap 12 to be 75% in. I would say he's about 73%, if that.
Yeah, so if we're going from comfortable second to 0 points, not great.
As they come down to tailgate again for the 12th time of 16. Ben defending hard yet again. Benji finds himself in a position, not for the win this time, but stuck behind another car, trying to find a way past.
And you think with the way the sprint's going, Black Falcon GT are probably going to come out of this having gained on the Station Night guys.
Yeah, well, Adam's scoring no points, and Ben is beating Benji.
And we're adding Nathan to that, and they're probably scoring a decent handful more than them this race. It was probably slightly in the favour of the Snake Unite in the feature race, but definitely Black Falcon's favour this race.
They head down to Toyota then for the 13th time. Benji definitely quicker than Ben by about 2/10 on that lap.
Yeah, he's probably hissing away in that car, wishing Ben to spin.
Nathan behind them, running a similar pace to Ben. And the gap for 6th place is starting to close up now. Only around
Rob's
1 second.
Tom's made a mistake somewhere. It's a 1:23.
Around 1.5 seconds that for for 6th place there. So that could be one to look out for near the end of the race. It's going to Indy left. See the different line that Benji takes is a more direct line into that hairpin. More braking in a straight line and getting it turned in compared to Ben Milden, who is angled into the hairpin whilst braking. Down through Bridgestone and towards Toyota we go. This is lap number 14 now. So the laps are running out. Here's Tom. There was Tom and Rob in the back, and a sure to be battle for 6th in the last couple of laps. Benji looks like he's starting to get a little bit agitated behind him. Really, he's really looking for some form of gap here.
Yeah, this is going to be the point where he's trying to apply the most possible pressure he can. He'll have been sort of trying the last few laps, but this is where he's really going to go for it.
And Rob is past Tom for 6th place. So Tom, even though he's... I'm guessing Tom is scoring points.
Yeah, top 10 in the sprint. Or, well, maybe he'll be added to the leaderboards. I don't know whether he's a standing because of the low numbers or he's coming back, but... either way, he outscored a couple of decent drivers this round.
Interesting line that from Ben Milden through Bridgestone. Very, very wide. Can't imagine that was very quick. This is where Benji's really strong. But
Yeah,
it's also...
the Audi looks very strong on the brakes.
But it must be really annoying knowing that he's really good through that section, but there's just no way of overtaking.
Yeah, it's always... sure, it's a great feeling for Ben when you're quick where you need to be, but it's probably a horrible feeling for Benji knowing he's quicker in certain places, but they're just not overtaking spots.
Well, not in real life anyway. On a game, you could definitely make it as long as it's clean.
Yeah, you can make it, but I think the other thing you'd also be making is a trip to the stewards.
Interesting. I was interested.
A certain crash.
Ben Milden looked like he had the need to actually go defensive for the first time in a while, I would say.
Yeah,
I haven't
maybe
seen
he's
him.
starting to feel the pressure.
I haven't seen him take that sort of defensive type line for pretty much all of this battle. So maybe he's now really thinking of keeping that 2nd place as they go on to the final lap here of the sprint race here at Long Beach.
Yeah, if you think Dean's not really a title contender, he's outscoring Benji, Nathan and Adam.
Well, this would be the 2nd win for Dean. And the first time he would have completed both races of a night.
That's something.
I tell you, it'd be a good point haul for Dean. 6th in the
probably
feature.
not the one he wanted, but it's still 2 races with points, so you can't complain.
I think he'll take it after spinning in the feature. A 6th and then a win in the sprint.
So Nathan's actually really stepped up, a 17.6 last lap, but he's doing it a bit too late.
And this man has been dominant in this race. He's taken pole, led from start to finish. Dean takes the sprint race win here at Long Beach as we go back to the battle for 2nd. And I think Ben Milden's just about done enough to come home in 2nd place in his changed Merc, followed by Benji, then Nathan. Gaz comes home in 5th for P&J Racing. Rob Noxious there will come home in 6th. Definitely a bit of a crumpled front end.
Yep.
As he comes across the line to finish in 6th, a good recovery. As Tom will come home in 7th in the Audi. So a good sprint race here from the boys, and it's going to be Dean that takes the win from Ben. Benji is in third, Nathan fourth, Gaz is in fifth, Rob is sixth, Tom is seventh, and Jamie retired along with Adam Morris, and Seb didn't even get to qualify or start the race due to being disconnected. So, end of the race, driver of that race then.
Dean. No other consideration, it's just Dean.
See, I'd have to say Ben Milden. On the same basis as Gaz, he's managed to hold off Benji for the whole race in that one.
Yeah,
so.
Ben would also be in with a shout, but I think just Dean's controlled it and driven away with it and didn't even look back through the whole race.
With some very varied results, the driver of the night is going to be a hard one to pick.
Yeah, you would say, on consistency, maybe Nathan, because he's probably come away the happiest with his results. Actually, no.
I think Benji. I think Benji's had the best night so far.
Yeah, Benji had 2 better results than Nathan, so yeah, I forgot about him for a second. Yeah, probably Benji for driver of the night.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. So, Liam, you can tell him what's next.
Well, in a week's time, we finally leave America and go back to Europe. We are racing around Spa-Francorchamps for our first European race of the season, a track that all the drivers love and usually provides a good race for us all.
Definitely one of my all-time favourite Spa, so we hope you'll join us for that one. And from all of us here at TNGTC, from me and Liam, we wish you all a very good evening, and we hope to see you next time at Spa-Francorchamps.